purchasing Miller Seafood. So we purchased Miller Seafood last September 20th. So we actually purchased it. So this is our fourth week operating. We have 24 cooperative, local county cooperative members. So we're hoping to start the season good this first November. But in addition to that, we also have a 60-acre tract in Color Bay. And we have 13 members there who are going to start oyster farming. So we just received one of our last permits from the Army Corps. And I believe within the next 30 days, we'll finalize that and we should be up and running before the end of the year. So bringing business here to Calhoun County.
That is fantastic news.
Thank you.
Yep, you're leading the future from seafood harvesting.
Hope to.
Paradigm shifts in it. That's great. I'm glad you're here and I'm glad that worked out so well. We look forward to working with you. Thanks, Veronica. Okay. That takes us to number 7. Review and discuss Nautical Landings Marina dock rates in this with the surrounding area marinas. How do we compare? Mr. Jimbo. Marina dock rates.
We look at that. It's kind of complicated, but let me get my pen. It's really hard to compare apples to apples. You well know we've always tried to compare ourselves to Matagorda. What we did was Jody helped with it. We did, the last time we had an increase was September 2020, I believe. And she helped us with going back and applying these MCIs of numbers. And it's showing that we need to be somewhere around $7.93 linear foot. Of course, that puts us way over and above everybody else. So we, kind of made some calls and looked at a lot of different reports from these other marinas. We didn't include Corpus, we didn't include the EMR over in Ingleside because they're, way above us. But we're thinking maybe increasing somewhere around $7 a linear foot is what we're thinking. We ought to be
From where?
from
6:30.
Yes.
Got a sheet back here, right back.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
One of the other changes that we made, on the transient rates used to be at $15.75 daily rate up to 35 feet, and $110.25 for a weekly rate. Same thing over on 35 feet and above. And what we did is we kind of changed that to a linear foot rate. And there's another sheet that's behind there that you can kind of look at, this one here, that are already put together. And it just, I think it simplifies using those dollar rates. It'd be $1 a linear foot for daily rate, $4 a linear foot for weekly rate, and $13 a linear foot for a monthly rate. We never had a monthly rate for transients. But anyway, one of the things we found out too, trying to work on this, was really couldn't apply straight math to any of these other marines. I mean, they just were throwing numbers out there and discount stuff. And we tried to stay, where you could apply the math and come up with those values that we're trying to use. One of the other things that we would like to see happen is, just to kind of clean things up a little bit, that 30 amp electricity fee was $52.50, and we were just gonna go up to straight $53 a month on that. One of the other things I looked at was where we're at currently. I went back, it was, April of 25 through September of 25. We paid the electric company, or the city paid the electric company $3,028.13. And we received $5,985, which was a difference or a gain of $2,956.87.
Over what period of time was it?
6 months.
6 months?
6 months, yeah.
And that's, and he did, we went back and looked at, the increase in kilowatt hours that we're paying since 2020s.
Yeah.
It's basically, there's like 3.8 cents, and now it's 6.8 cents or something.
And we didn't really get, I didn't want to get too much information going here other than just showing you that we're on the plus side by almost $3,000 for what we pay the energy company versus what we receive from the tenants. So,
Yeah,
So
yeah, Larry.
you told me earlier that the $6.30 per linear foot was 2020,
2020, yeah, there had been.
2020, and that the inflation, if you stay the same, it would bring that to 789 or something.
Yes.
And so you're not keeping up with inflation. Nobody is except the consumer.
Yeah,
So the inflation is taking it up
Exactly.
higher. So if we say 7, we're not keeping up with inflation, but we're taking an effort.
Yeah, and see, that still kind of puts us little below Matagorda. And of course, some of the way they calculated their rates, like I said earlier, we tried to, work it with straight math. There's a couple of them that we're a little over on, but not much, $5 or something. Monthly, on the total monthly fee, I think it was on a 42-foot boat, it kind of puts it up, us above Matagorda by like $5 a month.
yeah. What was the number again if we were to appropriately cover the,
She's got you.
Well,
$789.75.
it would be 790.
793?
93, excuse me, 793.
Okay. And the question I have is, how big a factor is this in whether or not we get a new tenant? Are they really gonna look somewhere else, or are they?
I think if we stay somewhere around that $7 number, and it might be a little, I'll be honest with you, we looked at this, 3 numbers around. I don't think that $7 number is too far out there in left field. It may be a little bit on the high side by 15 or 20 cents maybe.
That's nuts. I don't see anybody making a change from here
So,
to flashes for that kind of money.
maybe, but we got the, and this is something we've been talking about for years, when we get the breakwater done, when you start
Yeah.
kind of looking at some
Right,
stuff.
right.
I mean, I don't guess it's anything we really need to make a decision on today. At least we wanted to throw it out there and let y'all start thinking about it, and then we can come back and, if we want to at a later date, make these decisions.
Okay, all right.
I just wanted to kind of throw it out there and kind of let y'all, kind of think about it and adjust some of this.
You did a really good job of presenting this and getting it down to the net. That's
It's your tongue tied, because there's a lot of information here. I hope I got it straight, but
so
Raleigh is a great help.
let's ask what do you guys think about? Are we ready to take action here? Do we want to think about this one more session between now and the next meeting? Or go ahead and make a decision and do something?
I don't see anything wrong with it, because when you consider the fact that, like you said, with inflation.
Yeah,
We're getting less money. We're not getting more.
Certain thing that,
Yeah.
just because we've, the city is still paying for everything anyway. And the inflation that affects the city as well as the
Yeah.
consumers there that deal with this, and the fact that it's below the I guess the spectrum or the scale
Yeah,
I'd say we were doing all right.
we just finished making a major improvement to that.
And one of the things you have to look at, you know, you really, to compare apples to apples here is, you know, the facility. Okay, so, you know, we have a really nice, you know, we got the aluminum lattice
Yeah,
floating dock.
right, yeah.
You know, Matagorda, pretty much on par with us, we're on par with him. Now you start getting down there around Ranges Pass stuff. You're not getting that. I mean, you're not, you know, you're getting, basically a wood dock. You know, you don't, you know, you're not getting that floating dock, so.
I'd say you've made a lot of improvements to the nautical landings marina over the last 3 years.
We have to also make enough money for repairs to keep it current, keep things fixed as they break. So, I mean, that's part of what we make, you know, we have to be able to support fixing stuff too, you
Well,
know?
And that's one of the things that we talked about this afternoon, and we looked at this, we've had this information since, man, probably been about 30 days, and we looked at it pretty hard. And then we got back on it, you know, to kind of get our head wrapped around it for the meeting. And one of the things we need to do, and I've never done it, is actually get with Brittany and sit down and just see really where we're at. You know, with the Marine, you know, we're, you know, if we're making money or not, I don't, you know, I suspect we're making some, but probably not a whole lot, you know.
So this recommendation at the bottom is your and Jody's recommendation.
Yes, sir. Yes.
I'm okay with it.
Well, the only thing I'm more concerned about is the $7 a month lease rate. Shouldn't it be closer to $7.50 or maybe $7.93 or something like that?
Well, the thing that concerns me is we're, you know, we've always tried to stay below Matagorda. Not saying that we don't have to, but it just, you know, to me, I think we should
Okay,
get way above them.
The other thing is, I don't,
One of the things that I think we need to consider is the fact that if you treat your customers right, word of mouth, I don't care how you couch it, the fact is that if you have a businessman dealing with someone here in the city, they're gonna talk. And the fact that yours maybe a little below, that would make it us that much more attractive to keep people, because this is one of the biggest concerns that we had with the staff for the city of Port Lavaca, was our staff were underpaid for years. There were never, well, there was 2 people in above the scale, but everybody else was below the scale. And the fact that we started, okay, let's get them up there so that we don't lose so many people. We lost hundreds of thousands of dollars with the turnover as far as the city was concerned over a period of 15 to 20 years. So I say it's close. Let's go with this.
my point would be, we don't have to wait 5 years to revisit these fees.
That's true.
So the point is, we take a step to 7,
Yeah.
and then if the inflation keeps going nuts, then we
yeah.
take another step next year.
I agree.
Yeah,
Okay, so,
I would move that we adopt these rates.
okay, all 3 proposals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
I second.
all right. Larry Nichols moved and Jerry Smith seconded a motion to approve all 3 elements of the recommended changes in rates that Jimbo Roulat put together for us. Is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None opposed. All right, we've passed that unanimously. Now, I got lost somehow or another.
New business.
It's been I'll just leave it at that. Let's back up a little bit to item number 3. And that's Miss Brittany's. No. Oh, you have the floor, Miss Brittany.
So. The tariff report. For equalizer, we have not received such news, but they normally pay around this time, so I anticipate probably by this week we'll have September's tariff.
Okay. Right.
And Helena. So There was no August tariff payment. And then September's was not sent over to AP on Helena's side, so it did just hit. Okay, I did just get confirmation from our bank that we had September's Helena tariff payment. Even with that tariff payment, though, we were sitting negative 11% for the year. So we're negative percentage and equalizer as well. So the tariffs did not pan out like they did last year. I don't know if it's the season was bad and.
What page can I go to find that?
Equalizer is on page 24 and Helen is on page.
Okay. All right, well, that's pretty sobering news.
So hopefully this year things change. with tariffs. So we'll keep an eye out on it.
All right, thank you very much for that. Okay,
For aging report. I only have two outstanding balances. One is something more, and I did get confirmation that the balance will be paid in full this week.
oh, okay,
We'll track that. This $39.73 for Allied. Looks like they paid the old rent amount. They just paid that residual from the previous month.
okay,
So,
that shouldn't be an issue.
other than that, though, everybody else's balance is still.
Dude, that's good. And hopefully something more will be able to,
Yes.
I know the heart is willing.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Thank you for that.
Moving on to the payment reports, I just wanted to take notes of three major purchases, the AC replacement.
Yeah.
For 17,500, and we have the remaining expenses for the breakwater. And then also we have an expense for the waterfront public access. So for the breakwater, we've already gotten 2 reimbursements back from Parks and Wildlife, and we actually have, I believe, still have 200,000 left of reimbursements to back on that project. So we'll be expecting some more revenue, fair revenue from that.
Okay. Well, that's good news. Okay,
On the revenue and expenses reports, if you take away the grant revenue for the year, for the fiscal year, you're actually 102%. So that means you actually went above. So that's really good.
Is that the last September
Yeah.
30th? So that's the
That's the
final.
whole.
We're not doing so well this year. We're a little behind.
Well, I mean, it's a start, so.
Right.
Yeah. And then for expenditures, you have reached 89%, so you actually came in below budget, so that's good.
yeah. All right,
Moving on to the balance sheet, again, we've received about 340,000 for the Parks and Wildlife, and we have 200,000 left. Right now, we have a negative in our claims on cash, but once we get those reimbursements, you'll see it get recouped back. In October, we have one payment. We just received it last week. It was around 191,000 from Park and Wildlife, so that will hit cash, and then we should be expecting another one this month. So we'll be right back where we were at.
good job, Jody.
All right.
All right,
So on this chart, so this is for the full year. So total gain and loss is 211,396, so that's the full fiscal year. Of course, we have grant revenue in there. The only loss is the nautical landing, but we did a lot of upkeep this year for nautical landings.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
And it shows them,
Yeah.
it's really nice looking.
So this is the final,
So really it's just nautical landings, but like I said, we bought a whole new AC, and we did some door basements.
Yeah.
Windows, so.
On the building. Okay,
And
why do we get the property tax revenue because we asked for it, right?
yes,
Which we haven't done in the past.
so this will be the second year that we done this. That will actually show for this new budget year, let's see. So that's it. Everyone's everything.
okay.
Is the city, what is the city gonna ask us to pay for since we got the property tax revenue?
Basically,
I like that.
what they said is not to come asking for money for everything.
Since you're
I
getting. money
say
from-
that to use, for match and do that. Don't go off and spend it.
In other words, pay our own way is what you're saying. Yeah.
I didn't say what our own way was. I was a little worried about that.
Do we get the
Yeah,
claim?
they kept asking for it, and I thought maybe we should let them keep it, but anyway. Then we can act poor, but,
Other than that, though, that's the end of the fiscal year, so next month is the beginning.
That's right, we start over.
We're back at square one.
Thank you, Brittany.
Thanks, guys.
Anybody have any questions of, or well, out of there?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Brittany. Okay, back on track now. Item number 4. Miss Jody, you're on.
Okay, the city manager's monthly report. One, so I like, grant the renovation to the Knox breakwater. But basically. As you know, is complete. You receive reimbursement from Parks and Wildlife for everything except retainage. And Parks and Wildlife will be here this Friday. I'm going for final inspection. Following final inspection, they will then lease retainage and approve the final reimbursement. Then CDBG mitigation coastal resiliency, the insurance project. We did, finally receive the Board of Engineers permit on October 1st, just before the world shut down. And the same day, I received an email from Tony Uresic that they would agree to sign a letter of no objection to the project. And I did actually receive that letter on October 7th. The coastal lease is scheduled to be presented to the school land board today. So at the present time, we are targeting January 12th. Council to be able to award construction project, so we should be getting ready to bid here. Relatively soon and have bids back and ready for recommendation on the 12th.
so the school land board is a state agent.
It's we have to have a GLO lease. And so that's that's under the purview of the state land.
Okay,
The restore grant, and actually back on this, on the CBG mid, depending on how that works out, if we want. If the Port Commission wants to review those bids before we take them to council, we can do that, we'll just have to set a special meeting to do it, because we don't want to delay this in any way, because we're gonna be on a very tight schedule the entire project. Restore grant, we have submitted everything now to the Corps of Engineers, but with the federal shutdown, nothing is happening. Can't get any work on it, so I don't know where that's at. The CDG mitigation round 2, project for the culvert under the rail and corporation ditch and voluntary restoration of the Harbor Refuge shoreline. We've executed contracts with Urban Engineering for the Harbor Refuge Shoreline Restoration Project and with Mont McDonald for the culverts to Harbor Refuge and the corporation ditch improvements and KSPR for grant administration. We're now just waiting for the approval of the authority to use grant funds to move forward. GLO Capra grant, the Harbor Refuge.
So Jody, who's gonna give us the approval? A federal group or, so everything's,
It's with finalizing the environmental, which is, I think
Right.
we're in the middle of a 30-day comment period or whatever. As soon as we get that, then we have full clearance to move forward.
but that's impacted by the federal shutdown or not?
They didn't tell me that that was, no,
Okay,
because I think it's. They had to submit the environmental reports and everything, and I think there was just waiting like this 30-day window and I'm not positive, it may delay it some, but they have not said. That's kind of what we're waiting on. And then I did actually, well, I mean, that's not in your part, we did start a little work on detention pond part. The GLO Kemper Grant Harbor Refuge Shoreline Protection Project. Mont McDonald plans to submit the full Corps of Engineer permit application before the end of October. I think last month I reported that we did have a joint engineering, joint evaluation meeting with the Corps. And there were just a few little things came out of that Mont McDonald has addressed in plans. And they plan on submitting by the end of October. The Matador Bay Mitigation Trust Grant for downtown waterfront public access improvements. Phase 1 of this project is complete. If you haven't seen it, I'd suggest you go down. It turned out really, really nice. We've already seen a lot of people using that, especially in the evenings and weekends. Matt is still working on the plans for the parking lot and green infrastructure portion of the project. We have had a couple emails back and forth with Clean Coast Texas, who are assisting us with green infrastructure portion of those plans. TxDOT truck route signs, the posts for the large signs are still in fabrication. As soon as we get those in, then we'll get it arranged for those to be put up. Parking area on SBA Steel property, the Harbor Refuge boat ramp. I did hear back from SBA last week. Their legal team is reviewing what we sent over, but he called because he wanted to know whether we might be interested in a purchase of the area rather than a long-term lease. I told him that a purchase was an option that we would consider. So they may also submit an offer for sale in addition to lease that size, which we rather do. TxDOT Maritime Division, the TxDOT Maritime, they plan on visiting ports this fall and winter and begin discussing our port profile. Oh, I guess I didn't update this. We have heard back from them since I guess I did this report, and they are scheduled to be in Port Lavaca to meet with us on November 21st to sit down and discuss our ports and then do a tour of all our facilities so they can help us work up a port profile that'll then be then put on the website.
Right.
GLO CMP Cycle 31 project is special merit. I think I reported last month that we were approved to move forward with the development of the project that we submitted as an application for grant, which is a 10-foot wide boardwalk in front of the seawall at Smith Harbor. Matt and I have started to take a look at this. We need to come up with a work plan and some other paperwork that we're working on. All then the GLO staff will perform environmental review and work with us to finalize the work plan and anything else needed by March 31st. And then if for some reason we can't come to an agreement, then we don't get the grant, but the idea is we work with them to fine tune everything, come up with a scope that works for both parties. And get that all accomplished by March 15th, and then we'll to design the project and then go out. So that's what I've got.
Jody, on that piece of property down at the Harbor Refuge, do you get any sense that those people have lined up the heirs that need to come together to make a decision?
Are you talking about the kitchen property? Which property?
Oh, that's right. That's right. I'm getting them mixed up. Yeah,
Yes.
there's no issue with that down at Harbor.
They just.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think they had that piece of property for that communications tower.
Right.
They have no need for the rest of it, so I think they're just, as opposed to keeping up with the lease here yonder, they may rather just sell it outright, but we'll wait and see what they
Okay.
they
Well,
bring to us.
since you mentioned it, is there any news about the kitchen?
Yeah, I did get an update from Anne Marie last week, actually. And she's estimating that, well, she said no more than 6 more months worth of legal work in order to get the title clear, and then we could purchase the property. But I did get that so I could make a report to Matagorda Bay Mitigation Trust. Because that's, got a grant, you know, with
Yeah.
2025 grant to actually purchase that. I did make application with the Matagorda Bay Mitigation Trust for a walking and bike trail from Fulton Street down along and through the wetlands over to Bayfront Park. So see how that comes out.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Anybody have any questions? Yes, Larry.
I want to go back to item 3 just for a second to ask Jody. It says Port Commission monthly overhead and it had dues and subscription of $5,000. Was that at the beginning dues for the year?
It's the Texas Sports Association.
Okay,
And actually, we'll probably have another one here pretty soon because it's gotten off kilter. We're not on, they had problems on their end and we didn't notice we weren't invoiced. Went like we were paying like 9 to 10 months after the year. And then they had issues on their side and we didn't even get invoiced for like a long time. So discovered this weeks ago actually, and then realized, okay, this payment here is for last year, which ends now. And so when they send us the invoice for the new year, we're gonna go ahead and pay it, so we'll be back on track.
and this is for being in,
Being a member of the Texas Sports Association.
all right.
Yeah.
I would-
Good question.
Yeah,
Yeah, that ties us to the big family of Gulf Coast Sports, really.
yeah, it just says it's a monthly,
Mm.
and I thought, ooh, $5,000 a month, that's a lot of money, but it's a one-time payment. I get you.
Good catch, Larry.
Yes.
Okay. All right, anything else? Jody, you good?
I don't think I have anything else.
Okay, now, back on the agenda. Let's see, we were about to take up item number 8.
Did we do 5?
We need
did.
it.
We did 5.
Oh,
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
We didn't. I was confused with that too, so go right ahead, Jimbo. What can you tell us?
Well, Sleepy Harbor, we already kind of discussed that September, the Matagorda Bay Fishing Cooperative completed the purchase with Miller Seafood. Nautical Landings, I left that on there, I didn't even update it. Derek has that's the windows on the south end, south front, on our side of the building. Derek's got another company that's put a bid in, we hadn't heard anything. The difference between Barefoot Construction and Wade Wilson was like almost double. But Wade Wilson could not give us the specs on the windows he was gonna use, so he kind of got thrown out, kind of back on. I guess Derek, Derek, when do you think you'll hear
Should hear something more for this week,
this week?
is what they're saying.
So hopefully we can get those windows replaced, I mean, they're
Yeah.
very much need.
And this might be a good opportunity just to interject something new in case you're not aware that as of September first, a new law went into effect and we now we do not have to competitively bid projects unless they're $100,000.
Oh, really?
The city used to be 50,000 and the state, new law went into effect and now that 100,000. So we still need to get it obviously pretty big, but we don't have to put it in the newspaper and, you know, have a competitive
Yeah.
opening line and stuff.
Okay. Thanks for that.
Okay. Nautical Landings Marina, Horizon Environmental, they were there 16 times cleaning up since the last board commission meeting. Smith Harbor, the 9th of October, Shirley and Sons completed the phase one of the project there. And then the Harbor Refuge, we're still bringing in material from Alamo Heights, so.
Okay. Sounds good. Anything else?
Not really.
Yep.
Well, we're painting on the building right now. We're painting on the front. I'm not gonna paint the back, but the front, the side, both ends, and the front of the nautical landings, we're painting it right now, so.
Okay. Sounds good. Anybody got any questions for Jim? Okay, now, back on track. Yeah, we did all 6, 7, and 8, did we not?
I don't think we did
We
eight.
didn't do eight.
8, discuss nautical landings marina dock space lease form. Right,
That one's pretty quick out.
okay,
So Rolling and I started reviewing this and it. She's a major. She went through and cleaned up a bunch of wording. So we really, the two big items that we changed on this lease were number 2. And basically, you know, the slip rental fees will be calculated by the overall length of craft or slip, whichever is greater. So, you know, we used to have just dock. So anyway.
Yeah.
That was one big change. The other big change was number 23. And we changed, you know, we had a limitation on the guest. You can have 2 guests, we changed that to 4.
yeah,
The
okay,
rest of it was pretty much just her going in there and kind of cleaning this thing up. Oh, we did add on the back page, which was page 72. You can see this in red where she kind of added that in there to the first month, last month's rent, check number, stuff like that. You know, there's enough.
okay. Anybody got any questions about that one for Jimbo? Pretty thorough deal now. A lot of stuff there.
Lots.
Yes. Okay, moving on. The next item we come to is item number 9. And that's discuss and consider a lease with Equalizer for the Harbor of Refuge Track 3. I would suggest that it might be appropriate for us to go into closed session with Doug here. And let's discuss where we go with that. Does that sound all right to y'all? Jody?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's do that then. Doug, if you could stay with us. Okay,
So item 11.
okay. We did not take any formal action during the closed session. But we did determine a course going forward, so.
We don't take any action in closed session. There's no action to be taken as a result of the closed session.
Correct. No action to be taken. Okay. 12. comments from us here? Very
Good. Good.
Ms. Sue,
Good.
I'm good.
Jerry? Joe,
No, I'm fine.
Jody? Good job between the last meeting with Doug and now. Did a good job.
We had, yeah, all that, and well, I know Raymond knows because I kind of kept him in the loop, but all the communication back and forth with the.
Yeah, with the Smith Harbor thing.
Was.
Yeah.
A little intense times, but. we got it done.
You've really done a good job with applying for grants, getting money from Texas Parks and Wildlife and all that. Yes, sir.
I've changed my mind. I do have one comment. Thank you for the fact that these meetings last only maybe an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours max, because when you compare them to the city council meetings, go on forever.
Yeah. And what I'm thinking is they got time, they got things to do. And I don't want to sit here and visit. You can visit outside. Well, let's stick to business and do it quickly.
Yeah.
I agree.
Amen.
Thank you, Doug, for coming.
When you're just jacking your jaws and yeah, enamoring it.
Yeah, right, Roger on that. Jimbo, last point. Anything? Doug, do you have anything to add?
Good.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for looking at.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
All right, Jerry has moved. Sue Jim has seconded both of them. So, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. We're closed. As,
I'm gonna leave this
7.
book here, Jody.